All right. So, um, so before we jump into the notes, um, like when you guys hear trash, what kind of things do you think about? Like what does that make you? Huh? Yeah, Adrian.
I would say, well, I think trash, I guess, should be things that just can't be turned into anything else or used again, I guess. But
Okay.
trash, I guess, now is like just food that's not eaten or leftover food or just
Okay.
things we don't necessarily need, so we just throw it away.
Okay. Things don't necessarily need, so you throw it away. Okay. Great.
I was thinking about Danny DeVito was the trash man.
Okay. Yeah.
Throw garbage everywhere.
They've made whole bits out of it, right? Um, so what else? What? Yeah.
Raccoons and plastic.
Okay. So the well nicknamed trash pandas, right? Raccoons. Um, that'd be pretty sweet. Um, okay. So when we think about sort of about like where trash comes from, what kind of things like comes to your mind? Like where does trash come from? Who produces it? Like that kind of stuff. I mean, obviously humans, but I mean, like, we know that everybody produces trash, but when you think about like larger amounts of trash, like what do you think about? Like landfills? Okay, where it goes to. What about producing it?
Like the one place, like when you're driving towards DeKalb, or I want to say
Mhm.
it isn't DeKalb, where they have the people like,
Yep.
no, it's like burning or something.
Yeah.
They're burning off the methane.
Yeah, that's a landfill. Yep. Yeah, and we'll actually um, have you guys bring that up again when we get to that part. We'll talk about what the methane burn, like Garrett said, burning off the methane. We'll talk about what that is and why they do it. But so what about who, like, when you think about, like, and we know humans produce trash, but like when you think about like large amount, like, trash being produced, like what do you think of? Do you think of like at home, like from homes, or do you like where do you think of it mainly coming from? Restaurants, okay.
Byproducts of manufacturing.
Okay, byproducts of manufacturing. So a lot of times we think of homes, right? What else?
I was just gonna say home.
Yeah, so a lot of times we do think of homes, like, because we do produce a lot of trash from our homes, but sometimes people forget that, like, commercial places. So like you said, restaurants, right? Leftover food and all that kind of stuff. And just like industrial, kind of like Brain was saying, like different industrial or commercial processes have waste products too that are produced, right? So if uh, I used to do this, and we probably won't have time to do it this year, but I used to do this thing where I would uh, basically offer, like, have people track the stuff they threw out for a week. Um, so not like, oh, you know 10 pieces of paper or whatever, but you just say, like, paper, threw away, uh, you know bags from lunches, just keep track of, like, basically what you throw away. Um, and it actually typically is less than people think. Um, and anybody know the reason why? It's because people don't count stuff that is, like, indirectly from them. Like, so say for example, uh, you you go into a restaurant, and um, you don't eat all your food or whatever. Like people, and like say it's like a sit down place and they take it away. People don't think of that as like throwing it away, but it gets thrown away, right, or whatever. It's like that. Or if you think about like here at school, people are like, oh, we don't really throw away a lot of stuff at school. Like, well, no, you don't personally, but like when you think of and some of it's recycled too, obviously, but like when we think about the amount of like paper we go through, whether it's tests or notes or whatever, or stuff at lunches, all that kind of stuff, like it does add up. So when people look at what they throw away at home, sometimes it's like, okay, well, it's not too bad. And obviously we want to work on home and try to get that better, but like they look at home, but we sometimes people forget some of the things that you guys brought up, which is really good, like that there's also a lot of waste from industrial stuff and commercial and things like that that we're kind of part of because we purchase products and use those businesses and stuff like that too. So when you see the numbers on here, okay, the reason that the numbers on here look so big, if you were to even compare it with what you think about your own home or whatever now, the reason they seem big is because this is overall like total. So we have the definition for municipal solid waste, trash, the total of all the materials typically called trash, refuse, or garbage thrown away from homes and commercial establishments. So um, so you're talking about basically all the municipal solid waste that's produced, then averaged over the population. Okay. Um, so some sort of interesting and like some of you guys said, a little startling numbers, right? 1960, the average trash production was 2.7 pounds per person per day. 2003, so this comes from the book, average trash production was approximately 4.5 pounds per person per day. So almost double, right? 2019, average trash production was 4.9 pounds per person per day. So, it is higher, which isn't great, but it does look like it's maybe slowed down a bit. In terms of like, producing more and more trash wise. And this is, by the way, I should mention, this is United States. Um, so from 2009 numbers, it's approximately 1,788.5 pounds per person per year. So think about that. Like on average, you would produce around 1,800 pounds of trash a year. A family of four would produce around 137 pounds per week, or 7,154 pounds per year. So that's, when you think of it, that's quite a significant amount, right? Now these are averages, and it is that is including all the trash that's thrown away averaged in, but that's still a fairly large amount. Okay. So let me ask you guys this: why do you think that people don't really why do you think that people don't really typically think about about throwing stuff away as being a big problem? Yeah.
They probably don't think of where it's gonna go afterwards, so they just think, oh, it's just after they get in the trash can, it's someone else's problem.
Yes.
So
Yes. Ever heard the phrase "out of sight, out of mind"? Totally. Yes. Once that is like, I'm not sitting here going, oh, I wonder where that binder I threw away yesterday is now. Man, I missed that thing. Oh, but it's living a good life, and not like you don't think like that. It's gone. Not your problem anymore, right? Yeah, that's a big part of it. Good.
I think another reason is like, I think at least for like us in this area, we don't really see the effects or like have
Okay.
the landfill. I don't think.
Yeah. So you might not see the immediate effects of it, right? Might not be near a landfill or whatever. Is that what you guys were gonna? Okay, Jaren?
I think it's just like one of those things where it's kind of the out of sight, out of mind thing where it's not talked about a lot.
Uh-huh.
You hear about the trash in the ocean and everything,
Yep.
so we're watching how to not keep trash from getting into the ocean.
Sure.
Instead of like looking at like how many landfills are taking up space and
Yep.
not decaying and
Yeah, and that's actually another good point is that we've gotten fairly good at like sort of I don't know what the term is, like storing our trash relatively. So it's also not impacting other like we don't see it impacting animals as much or as much as it used to maybe like animals or large scale environments and stuff like that. Even though it does, but maybe not on the scale of some of that other stuff. So it doesn't maybe get as much press or as much thought. Good. Any other stuff? You guys nailed. I mean, you nailed really the main reason. So the out of sight, out of mind thing is a huge one. Um, right. Once it's gone, like we don't worry about it, we don't think about it, and then and like Adrian said, like even so the nearest one I think to us. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the nearest one is the DeKalb Sycamore one.
Yeah.
Or at least the nearest large one. Is up there. So, and unless you live near it, you don't really think about it much, and it's not it doesn't impact you on a day-to-day basis, right? So we don't really worry about it because it's not impacting us on a day-to-day basis. There's another one. There's another one north of Rochelle, south of Rockford.
There
Um,
used to be one.
it's over by. It's not by Byron. It's I don't. Well, it is kind of. I think it's east of Byron, but like along. What's that?
It's a really, really big one.
Yeah, It's along 251, which runs parallel to 39, but it's on the west side of 39. And that one is really big. And I tell you what, like when you drive by it, it's there. Like you
there's
can
one in Plano.
you can smell it. There is one in Plano.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah, because the one in DeKalb is waste management.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the DeKalb County Security Landfill. And there's group Plano transfer.
Yeah.
So it's like
Huh.
it's not like a landfill. I think it's just one where like they drop off and then back gets transferred to somewhere else. But
Oh, so it's like a transfer site or something
yeah,
like.
they're classifying it as a garbage dump.
Okay, that's interesting. So there is something in
So
Plainville.
I think
In
it's
Plano
down the
that.
street from the Y. Like if you're going towards Yorkville
Oh,
and you
that
turn
place.
left to go by the Y.
The
Yeah, that makes sense.
the Plano Y.
That's what that one place is.
Hold on, let's see if
I think I was there when you were
Uh-huh. That's what that building is like.
there. I'm gonna go by my
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
uh
'Cause I never even, it wasn't a store. You see garbage trucks going into it every day, but everything like this.
let's see if here I'll put this up.
Yeah.
I was gonna see if we can. So
Where's the big one? In
wait, how do I change this to
Oh,
Isn't there a way to-
Satellite?
is it down here?
I think it is.
the person? Or do the street view?
Yeah, how do I do street view? Is it
Click on the little person.
Yeah.
Drag 'em and then place 'em on the screen.
oh place
on
on
the boulevard.
Yeah, we gotta go up the road a little bit.
oh okay wait
Are you playing?
should I go back?
Field district?
You can drag and just.
If you go into Google Earth, you can type in the address and it'll show you.
Oh okay.
It's probably a little bit.
Well hold on, is it
It's, so there's a textile, there's arcade, go up more a little bit. There's Menards, that guy right there.
right here?
No, wait, where is it?
Well, it says, I could have swore it says it's by Lakewood Street.
Do you have a do you have a do you have a do you have an address on it or no? Or a name? If it's a name, I might be able to find it.
Yeah, it's called Group Dash Plano Transfer.
Groot or Root?
Group.
Groot. Transfer station?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah, it is.
It's right there.
Okay,
It's called
yeah.
Nate, yeah.
So just, okay, so let's see what,
Uh-huh. Yeah, because this is it. I never knew what this building was for.
Scroll right.
What? No, you're on Eldamy.
it's back, it's somewhere, is it over here?
No, it's this way. So it's
If you
behind
right click and like
to the
move
right.
the screen, like hold
Oh.
it down, you can.
Oh, okay, right click.
There's a Google.
You don't want to let them go that much farther.
No, never mind.
Oh, do I have to stay along the road? Oops. Oh, it's reversed.
Oh,
Okay.
is it? Will it not let you just go a little bit more?
I don't think it'll let me go out. No, it's making me stay along the road. Maybe, you know what, maybe Google Earth, let's see.
Google Earth.
Oh, if you still have that up, or maybe I can.
What?
Oh, wait, I gotta do,
Launch first.
we'll launch it.
You hear about the line that they're selling for like $1 million on the space station up
Yeah, I know.
there? Yeah, they brought like line up there for a year into the space station, and now they brought it back and it's going for sale. Like,
Space line,
Space one.
this is gonna take
Elon
forever.
must be making money.
Big love SpaceX line.
Come on, Google Earth.
Alright,
Whoa.
okay, so, yeah, people like looking up like the, you know, the Eiffel Tower, Big Ben, so we're looking up Groot.
They're gonna be looking, they're gonna be like, okay.
That's it,
They're taking us down.
zoom in. Okay, we're calling it an airstrike.
Yes.
This is the one up here,
That's
the
the one.
one you guys are talking about, right? Okay, so,
I don't think it's that.
It's not, it might not be there by the
I
time
think it's
they-
that building.
It's brand new.
Yeah, if
It
you
just
go-
got
oh, really?
last year.
Okay.
That's
Well,
been constructing.
yeah, it looks like they're putting it in when this was taken then.
Have a look at Google Images.
No, we're done. All right. Well, okay, so this is probably, but even like looking at the size of this, you can tell it's probably not a whole thing. Like, while we have this, actually, let's just do this. Yeah, we can probably see the DeKalb one should be along.
That's,
Is this?
I don't think that's it.
You can look it up. I have the name of it.
Okay.
It's Waste Management, DeKalb County Security.
Waste management, what?
Oh, right there, it's that second one.
Okay. This one or wait?
It's like
or-
the diagram, yeah,
Try this. Okay. Add to project.
That's it.
there it is.
Oh, there you go. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. So you can see. Yeah. So look at how much bigger this is. I mean,
Mhm.
you can see the size of this. And it's even expanded over here.
Yeah.
These are probably, so these, I've never done this before. This is actually, we're kind of like jumping ahead.
You can go in the street.
These are like what are called like leachate collection. It's leachate. They're like these ponds where it allows the like some of the, well, yeah, it allows it to break down, but it allows it to kind of like separate out different parts that you don't want to get into groundwater and stuff like that. It's like a collection, and then they can like neutralize it or whatever.
Oh, I know.
It's like a collection pond right here too.
Yeah, that's actually what.
Is that somebody that refused to move?
That's a trailer.
We're not selling our house. Oh,
Camping on.
well, you're screwed now.
Landfill.
Okay, so yeah, but you can see it like, so it is kind of, it's far enough away that like we don't think about it every day and stuff like that, right? Now imagine this. Imagine instead of like putting all your trash into a trash can and somebody hauling it away once a week. Imagine the rule was you had to, you couldn't like nobody, you couldn't take away trash or whatever. Like you had to like deal with it on your own property. So like you either have to like bury it, burn it. Yeah, you have to like take care of it on your own property. You can't take it away. You can't throw it over the fence into the neighbor's yard. I'm doing that. You got to deal with it. All right. What do you think? What do you think would happen very quickly?
It would not be good.
Well, it would not be good. And
Disease.
well, what would change about people's fires? Yeah, people would be burning it, but you would also like, aren't people? What's that? Yeah, right. Like if it had to sit, if it was had to like be dealt with on, people are gonna change what like they're not just gonna throw away stuff like and not even think about it, right? Like you're gonna be like, okay, we're not throwing that like away. You can reuse that, or we're gonna do this with it, or whatever, because we're rapidly running out of room or thing, stuff to like how we can deal with this. So if you had to deal with that, if we had to deal with our own trash on a daily basis, uh, it would drastically change how we viewed the issue of trash and stuff that we throw away. So, okay,
It'd be good for farming,
yeah, it would be to some extent. Yep, some of that can be used. So these are the most recent statistics as of I think 2019 or I try to update them like once a year at least. I don't remember if I did this year or not though. Um, the breakdown of stuff in our trash in the United States here. So this kind of shocked me when I first saw it. 27.4% is paper, paperwork, cardboard, is paper products. Almost 30% of it, the number one.
That's surprising.
Okay. Now here's the thing. I think they are including everything that's thrown out. So I think this includes stuff that's recycled. Because if you look down in the disposal down here, MSW disposal, they have how much of it is recycled in the disposal numbers. So I think that this is everything that's like thrown out, whether it's thrown out as recycling or whether it's thrown out in what we consider like actual trash, whatever. So I think that's part of it, the reason that's so high. But yeah, that's pretty high. Though actually the other one that shocked me, and I guess when you think about businesses and restaurants and stuff, I guess it's not as shocking, but like the food waste was number two at almost 15%. So I know some of you guys work in food and stuff like so at the close of night, you have to toss everything that's left, basically. Okay. How like is that a lot typically or
For McDonald's,
Yeah.
when our rushes come, most times we send out a lot of food because it's a lot of people, but like,
sure.
especially with COVID, we
Yeah.
can't do anything, so we got a whole DoorDash order that we have to throw away, and there's nothing else you can do. We just gotta-
Gotcha. Oh, so yeah, so it's probably been stricter with the COVID regulations and stuff. Okay. And I'm sure like most restaurants, either whether it's fast food or sit down or whatever, they try to minimize waste, right? Like that's profit out the door. So like you don't want to make stuff that you're not selling. So it's not like they're just doing it just to do it. But there is quite so same thing Taylor, with you guys like. So I mean, like if you would think about like an average night, like I don't know, you guys have like, do you throw it all into like just trash like big bags or something, or about how many bags would you say?
We have like small bins,
Okay.
and we dump them into a bigger bin, and then we put it into the cart, and then that ends up in the dumpster.
Okay. So is a cart like one of those big sort of like a
big black.
yeah like a push thing that yeah okay so how many of those do you kick out a night?
Normally for me, we only take it out once, but that's when like we take it out once a night, but it's full.
Okay.
And there's
Okay.
a lot of boxes.
Okay, so boxes too.
Yeah, because
Okay.
like, I would say most of our garbage is like empty drink cups, receipts, like
Okay.
like plastic wraps for like on things.
Okay.
Like, yeah.
So same with you you guys too. Okay, so it's almost like more like I don't know like packaging or things of that nature for the most part. Okay. Okay. Okay, that's interesting. So well, and that would, I mean, I guess if you look like that's, it would make sense that that's even a higher one. So, okay. Um, and then 13.5% is yard waste. Anybody know what that would be?
So it'd be like
So
leaves,
like
water.
plant matter?
Yeah, plant matter, leaves. Leaves are a big one. Yard trimmings, like people will trim trees and stuff like that. I don't know if people really do this as much. Some people used to even like throw away like they would collect grass clippings and throw those away. Um, you're not supposed to throw away any yard waste actually in trash bags. Um,
Special day.
yeah, they actually have special decomposable bags, and trash. They're supposed to come around and collect it. And actually, depending on what you have, if you live in the city, like most cities and towns, will have a um, either like a maintenance division or like a roads like a road maintenance division or something like that. That if you call the city hall, you can actually request a pickup of like if you trim trees and stuff like that, and if you put it out at the curb, you can a lot of times they'll have it where you can request a pickup of that stuff, and they'll take it and either like put it in a chipper or a compost or something like that. Yeah,
You can go.
go ahead, Kim.
During the fall, they take their leaves by the side of the road, so they'll come and take it away.
Yeah, they'll have leaf pickup days, right? Yeah. Gary, what were you gonna say?
I like in Waterman, if you call, they just let you go pick up a truck and you get to just throw everything in the bed of the truck, bring it back, and they have like a big pile where they just keep all their like files, like all
Sure.
their branches and
Right.
stuff, their leaves.
Oh, cool. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Where, do you know where the leaves go and then like what things do with the leaves?
Well, most cities and towns, if they have something like that, they usually like kind of like Gary was saying, it like they'll have like some kind of a compost or a compost pile or something like that. Some if they're bigger and there's enough to sustain it, they might even do like wood chipping and like have mulch pile or not mulch, yeah, like mulch piles and stuff like that. Um, but most of them will have like a spot designated somewhere for essentially just letting it decompose and break down. Most cities and towns have something like that. So, okay, so 12.7% is plastics. That's usually one of the ones that people think is the most, is the biggest percent, but 12.7%. Um, it's it's really it's the biggest one that doesn't break down easily, right? Like compared to the other three. So that is the first one that doesn't break down as easily. 8.9% metals, 8.7% rubber, leather, textiles. So textiles would be like fabrics. So that'd be like clothing or rugs or drapes or anything like that type of thing. 6.3% wood. I'm assuming wood here versus yard waste. I'm assuming wood here means like, yeah, like furniture, those type of things, right? 4.6% glass, and then 3.4% other.
What would be,
Technology probably.
Um,
or wouldn't that be under like metal?
well, I mean, you could split up parts of it, like it probably would be considered like things that some things that you're not supposed to throw away. Some yeah, like batteries or like batteries you can actually throw away, not supposedly, but like paint, oil, stuff like that. Maybe other just other things that are combos of those. Um, so okay, so let me ask you guys this: what substance of those do you think lasts the longest or takes the longest to break down or decompose?
I like plastic.
Plastic.
Plastics,
Glass.
glass, rubber.
Other.
Well, metal's
Well, it depends on what it is. It could be other if it's like radioactive waste or something. But okay, so surprised me a little when I saw it, but yes, it is glass.
Yeah.
Glass will last even longer than plastics. And once I started thinking about it, I'm like, it makes sense because glass is so non-reactive. That's why you can store a lot of stuff, even hazardous stuff like acids and stuff in glass because it doesn't react with anything. It doesn't break down. So out of all of them, glass is actually the one that lasts the longest. Um, so if you choose one thing to recycle, glass should be it. I obviously preferably recycle more than one, but definitely recycle glass. Um, so yeah, glass lasts the longest. Plastics is considered a bigger problem usually just because by volume we produce so much more plastic than we do glass things. Um, so that's why a lot of times we lean towards plastic as being a big problem, and it is. But yeah. Okay, so what's the breakdown of where our trash goes, sort of? So 228 million metric tons. 54% of it goes to landfills. That's 123 million metric tons going to a landfill. 37% of it is recycled, 84 million metric, and 9% of it is combusted, which means what? Burned. Yeah. Burned it. And when they say combusted in this, they don't mean somebody burning in their backyard. They mean it's combusted in a combustion facility, like a facility designed to burn like trash. Okay. Potential disposal. So a while back, a few classes, we kind of talked through it and just kind of like laid out what people thought we could end up doing, like what we thought we could do with this breakdown of the composition. And we thought that it seemed reasonable that about 54% of it could be recycled one way or another. 30% of it, mainly the food waste and the yard waste, and maybe a little wood, could be composted, which would leave only 16% going to landfills. So think about the difference with that. It would take, essentially, if you look at the math here, it would take between 3 and 4 years to put to put the same amount in the landfill that we put in 1 year now. That'd be a fairly significant, a fairly significant change, right? Like that'd be pretty good. So, that's just kind of and that was just us figuring that out based on what stuff is. We just kind of really generically off the top. Okay. All right. All right, we're doing pretty good. We'll stop here for today.